Monopolistic competition. Many firms competing to sell similar but differentiated products. So, like for example, sa mga beauty products, daghanay parehas na mga produkto, pero ang uban, kumpanya, like ilang gisundog, pero mga picky, unlike sa pure nagahimo. Next is oligopoly. When a few large firms have all or most of the sales in an industry, like for example sa Shopee or Lazada, sa mga dagko na kumpanya, ang gahandle ana which is dali mabenta tungod kay attractive para sa mga customer ug daghanay mapilian. Differentiated sa mga dagko na mga kumpanya is ang ilang price mahal but worth it, unlike sa barato pero ang ilang product is dili worth it.
Monopoly and antitrust policy. Antitrust law regulate the concentration of economic power to prevent companies from price colluding or creating monopolies. Proponents of antitrust law argue that they keep consumer price lower and foster innovation through increased competition. Price capping, limiting price increases, regulation of mergers, breaking up monopolies, investigation into cartels and unfair practices.
Explain the significance of the differentiated products. An example of product differentiation is when a company emphasizes a characteristic of a new product to market that sets it apart from others already on the market. It is various industries, and for consumers, it includes the competitive advantage. It helps companies. It can use product differentiation to gain a competitive edge. Consumer choices with a variety or a decision made by individual when selecting product or services to satisfy their needs and wants. Describe how a monopolistic competitors chooses price and quantity. The monopolistically competitive firm decides on its profit maximizing quantity and price similar to the way that a monopolist does. The market demand. If the price elasticity of demand, if consumers are responsive to price change, the firm might lower its price to increase sales. If demand is inelastic, consumers are less responsive to price changes, the firm might increase its price to maximize profit. And cost consideration product differentiation. Monopolists often engage their product to make their product unique by consumers. They may invest in branding, design, etc.
Good day, everyone, especially to you, sir. And I'm the second reporter under the group 10. So now I'm going to tackle the evaluate the trade-off imperfect competition. Oligopoly is probably the second most common market structure, or monopolistic competition being the first. When oligopolies result from patented innovation or from taking advantage of economies of scale to produce at low average cost, they may provide considerable benefit to consumers. Oligopolies are often buffeted by significant barriers to entry, which enable the oligopolies to earn sustained profit over a long period of time. Oligopolies also do not typically produce at the minimum of their average cost curves when they lack vibrant competition. They may lack incentives to provide innovative product and high quality service. The task of public policy with regard to competition is to sort through these multiple realities, attempting to encourage behavior that is beneficial to the broader society and to discourage behavior that only adds to the profit of a few large companies with no corresponding benefit to consumers. Monopoly, an antitrust policy, discusses the delicate judgment that go into this task. Example, the antitrust law of its significance. Antitrust law are regulations that encourage competition by limiting the market power of any particular firm. This often involve ensuring that mergers and acquisitions don't overly concentrate market power or form monopolies, as well as breaking up firms that have become monopolies. Antitrust law also prevents multiple firms from colluding or forming a cartel to limit competition through practices such as price fixing due to the complexity of deciding what practices will limit competition. Antitrust law has become a distinct legal specialization. Evaluate methods of antitrust regulation. Antitrust law are regulations that encourage competition by limiting the market power of any particular firm. This often involve ensuring that mergers and acquisitions don't overly concentrate market power or form monopolies, as well as breaking up firms that have become monopolies.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, classmate. I'm Charlene Mansoy, and Group 10 Reporter 3. And now, let's proceed to the Analyze Restrictive Practices. Various actions or behaviors that limit competition in a market, often resulting in negative consequences for consumers, other businesses, and the overall economic efficiency. Ito ay tumutukoy sa iba't ibang pagkilos o pag-uugali na naglilimita sa kompetisyon sa isang merkado na kadalasang nagreresulta sa mga negatibong kahihinatnan para sa mga mamimili. So, kasama sa batas ng antitrust ang mga rules against restrictive practices. Practices that do not involve outright agreements to raise price or to reduce the quantity produced, but that might have the effect of reducing competition. Mga kasanayan na hindi nagsasangkot ng mga tahasang kasunduan, na taasan ang presyo o bawasan ang dami ng ginawa, ngunit maaaring magkaroon ng epekto ng pagbabawas ng competition. Explain and give example of positive and negative externalities. Positive externalities occur when the action of a producer have beneficial effect on third parties who are not directly involved in the transaction in a monopoly. Positive externalities might result from the monopolist production of innovation. So, imagine a pharmaceutic monopoly na nagbubuo ng bagong gamot na pwedeng gamitin ng mga tao in a positive way. Ang positive externality is ang atong society ay nakikinabang from the improve of healthcare kahit na ang main goal nito is profit. In this case, antitrust policy would generally not be applied aggressively dahil ang monopolist is producing a social, useful, and beneficial product. Next, negative externalities. Negative arises when the action of a producer have harmful effect on third parties in a monopoly. Negative externalities might result from the monopolist pricing or production decision. So, for example, pag ang producer walay proper handling or wala ni sulod sa protocol sa gobyerno na makakos og negative impact like mga side effect which is makakos og negative feedback sa imong product like mawad-an ka og buyers or suppliers.